My truck rattled over the ruts and the place came into view. A big old house with barns scattered around, horses grazing in the fields. The ad had promised room and board for hard work, and I was low on cash after losing my last gig. A woman stepped out onto the porch as I parked. Waving me over, she looked to be in her 40s, tall and slim with sharp eyes and a smile that seemed too wide. "You must be here for the help position," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Sheila, come on in. Let's talk." Her grip was firm, almost too tight inside. The house smelled of hay and something sweeter, like old perfume mixed with smoke. She led me to the kitchen, poured coffee without asking, and sat across from me at the table. We chatted about my background. I told her I'd worked on ranches before, knew how to mend fences and care for animals. She nodded, her eyes never leaving my face. "I run this place alone now," she said. "My husband passed years ago. It's a lot, but I manage." "You seem strong. Can you start tomorrow?" I agreed right then. The pay was decent and the isolation didn't bother me. I liked the quiet. She showed me to a small room upstairs, sparse with a bed and a dresser. "Make yourself at home," she said. "Supper's at 7 that first night." I ate with her in the dining room. She talked nonstop about the horses, the neighbors who kept to themselves, how God had guided her to this life. Her voice had an edge like she was reciting lines from a script. I kept my responses short, focusing on my plate of stew and bread. The work started early. I mucked stalls, fed the animals, fixed a broken gate by the back pasture. Sheila watched from the porch most days, calling out instructions over there by the fence. That's it, she praised me when I did well. But her compliments felt off, like they hid something sharper. One morning, as I hauled water to the troughs, she walked up close. "You're doing good," she said, her hand brushing my arm. "Most boys run off after a week, but you stay." I nodded, uncomfortable with how she lingered. "Just need the job," I replied. By the end of the first week, I noticed odd things. Tools left out of place like someone had been in the barn after me. Footprints in the soft dirt near the house that weren't mine. I mentioned it once over lunch. "Probably raccoons," she said, laughing it off. "This place is full of critters. Don't worry about it." But her laugh didn't reach her eyes. That night I heard noises, scraping sounds from downstairs. Like metal on wood, I lay in bed listening. But when I got up to check, the house was still. Sleep came slow after that. A couple weeks and another guy showed up. He was younger than me, maybe 20, with a backpack and a nervous look. Sheila introduced him as Ken, said he was here to help too. We shook hands in the yard. "Glad to have company," I said. He smiled faintly. "Yeah, she seems nice." We worked side by side that day, repairing a shed roof. Ken was quiet at first, but as we nailed boards, he opened up. I answered her ad online. Said she needed hands for the farm. "My folks kicked me out, so I understood. It's steady here. Just watch the burn pile out back. She's always adding to it." He glanced toward the field where smoke sometimes rose. "What's she burn? Trash?" "Mostly old papers, farm waste." That evening, Sheila cooked a big meal for the three of us. She sat between us at the table, pouring wine. She insisted we drink to new friends. She toasted Ken, took a sip, and coughed. "Strong stuff." She leaned toward him. "You'll get used to it. Tell me about yourself, Ken. What brings a boy like you here?" He shifted in his seat. "Just need work like he does." He nodded at me. Sheila's smile tightened. "Everyone has secrets. God sees them all." The conversation turned strange after that. She talked about her past, modeling in New York, a bad marriage, how faith saved her. Then she fixed her gaze on Ken. "You ever do wrong to little ones? Be honest now." Ken's fork paused midway to his mouth. "What?" "No, ma'am, good," she said, patting his hand. "I can't abide that. It's why I'm here to set things right." I exchanged a look with Ken. After dinner, she sent him to the barn for a task. At his plate. Then turned to me. "He's troubled. I can tell, but I'll help him like I help you." Her words stuck with me that night. The scraping sounds returned, louder from the direction of the basement. I got up, flashlight in hand, and crept downstairs. The kitchen was empty, but the door to the cellar stood ajar. A faint smell wafted up burnt meat and chemicals. I called out softly, "Hello?" No answer. I shone the light down the stairs. Shadows played on the walls, but nothing moved, heart racing. I closed the door and locked it, then went back to bed. Morning came and Ken was gone from his room. Sheila said he left early for town, but his backpack still sat by the door. Days passed without word from him. I asked Sheila about it while we fed the horses. Ken coming back, she didn't look up from the bucket she carried. He wasn't right for this place. God told me. Her tone chilled me. I started paying closer attention. The burn pile grew higher, smoke curling up in thin wisps, even when she wasn't adding to it. One afternoon, I found a wallet in the barn loft. Ken's with his ID inside. I pocketed it, unsure what to do that evening. Sheila called me to the porch. "Sit with me," she said. The sun dipped low, painting the fields gold. She sipped her drink, staring out. "You've been here a month now." "Do you like it? It's work," I said carefully, "but yeah." She turned to me, eyes intense. "I see things in people's sins they hide. Like with Ken, he confessed to me, touched kids, hurt them." I had to stop him. My mouth went dry. "What do you mean, God's work?" She whispered, "I burn away the evil. You understand, don't you?" I stood up slowly. "I think I should go." Her hand shot out, grabbing my wrist. "No, you're good. Stay." I pulled free and back toward the door. "I need to think." Inside, I grabbed my things, heart hammering as I headed for the stairs. I heard her voice from below. "Don't leave me alone here." I didn't answer in the yard. I threw my bag in the truck and drove off fast. Gravel flying, but halfway down the road, I stopped. Ken's wallet burned in my pocket. I turned back, parking out of sight behind the trees. Creeping to the burn pile, I waited until dark. Sheila went inside. Lights flicking on the pile, smoldered embers glowing. I poked at it with a stick and something hard emerged. A bone, charred but human-sized. Then another. My hands shook as I dug deeper, finding a ring that matched one Ken wore. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone must have called. I ran to my truck and got away, driving straight to the police station 2 towns over. I handed over the wallet and told them everything. They went to the farm that night. Sheila was arrested. They found remains in the burn pit and more in the basement. Ken's body and another man's from before. She confessed to killing them. Said God commanded it because they were bad. They think she did more. Boys who came and never left. I still see that farm in my dreams. The smoke, her eyes. I got out, but the fear stays. I woke up that morning with the usual list of chores running through my mind. The farm had been our life for over 4 decades, just me, my wife, and the endless rows of maize stretching out from our house. My parents lived in the smaller place down the path, close enough to walk, but far enough that it took a few minutes. They were getting older, but still stubborn about handling things on their own. That Sunday was Mother's Day, and we'd planned a simple lunch together. Nothing fancy, just some meat on the braai and time to talk. My wife and I started the day early. Like always, she was in the kitchen, chopping vegetables while I checked the irrigation lines outside. Around 10, I called my parents to confirm they'd be over after church. My father picked up, his voice steady as ever. "We'll see you at noon, son. He said your mother is looking forward to it." I could hear her in the background laughing about something small. It felt normal, the kind of call that happens every week. But as the morning dragged on, a quiet worry started to creep in. Church usually ended by 11, and they were only a short drive away by 11:30. My wife noticed too. "Where are they?" she asked, glancing at the clock while setting the table. I shrugged it off at first. Traffic maybe, or they stopped for something. But deep down I knew better. The area had been tense lately. We'd heard stories from neighbors, strangers lurking near gates at night, gates left open, tools missing from sheds. Farm attacks weren't rare here. They happened too often, and everyone whispered about them over coffee. My father had even installed extra locks last month, muttering about how things were changing. Noon came and went. The food was ready, but the table stayed empty. My wife paced a little, her hands twisting a dishcloth. "Call them again," she said. I did, but the phone just rang and rang. No answer. That knot in my gut tightened. "I'm going to check on them." I told her. She nodded, her face pale. "Be careful." "Take your phone." I grabbed it and headed down the path, the dirt crunching under my boots. The farm was quiet, just the rustle of leaves in the breeze, and the distant hum of a tractor from another property. Our place was isolated miles from the main road, which was why we loved it and why it scared me sometimes. As I walked, I scanned the area. My father's car was there, parked right by the house, like he'd come straight home from church. That didn't make sense. Why hadn't he called? The front door was ajar, just a crack, but something about it looked wrong. I pushed it open slowly, calling out, "Dad." "Mom, it's me." No response. The living room was a mess. Cushions knocked over, a lamp tipped on its side. My voice echoed a bit too loud in the stillness. I stepped further in my shoes, sticking slightly to the floor. That's when I saw it, a dark smear on the wall. Like paint, but thicker blood. My mind raced, but I pushed forward, telling myself it could be anything. The kitchen was worse, drawers pulled out, papers scattered. Then I noticed the back door splintered, like someone had forced it with something heavy. "An axe maybe from the shed, Dad," I shouted again louder. Still nothing. I moved to the hallway, my breath coming short. The bedroom door was closed, but a faint metallic smell hung in the air. Sharp and wrong, I turned the knob and it swung open. What I saw next will stay with me forever. My parents lay on the floor, not moving, my father on his back, eyes staring at the ceiling, his shirt soaked red. My mother face down beside him, her hair matted. Their hands were bound behind them with cord from the curtains. Twisted, tight blood pooled around them, thick and dark, soaking into the rug. I dropped to my knees, reaching for my father. First his skin was cold, no breath, then my mother. Still a little warm, but her neck, oh God. Her neck was cut deep, an iron cord wrapped around it like a noose. I touched her wrist, searching for a pulse, but there was none. Flies were already buzzing in from the open window. I backed away, my hands shaking, covered in their blood. Who could do this? Robbers, maybe. They'd taken his guns from the cabinet, some cash from the drawer, his laptop, but this wasn't quick. They'd tied them up, made them wait. Terrified, I could picture it. My parents coming home, hearing the noise, thinking it was an animal or wind. Then the door-breaking men rushing in. Masks or no, demanding things my father would have fought. I know he would get out, he'd say, voice firm. But there were probably more than one overpowering him. My mother screaming, Fanny, help, as they dragged her. The sounds, grunts, thuds, her pleas. Cut short, I stumbled out of the room, dialing the police with bloody fingers. My parents, they're dead, I choked out when they answered. The operator asked questions, but I could barely speak. My wife met me halfway down the path, running. What happened? She gasped. I pulled her close, not wanting to say it. They're gone, someone got in, she cried, then hard, and we waited together for the sirens, which seemed to take hours. The police came, then detectives. They said it looked like the attackers waited inside, ambushing. When my parents returned, no fingerprints, no clear tracks. The maize field swallowed everything. Days later, they caught 2 men nearby with some of the stolen items. But the trial dragged and the full story never came out. Why our farm? Was it just opportunity or something more? We'd heard talk of land grabs. Anger boiling over my father had voted a certain way. Spoken out at meetings. Did that make us targets? That night after the bodies were taken, my wife and I sat in our kitchen, doors bolted, lights on. Every creak made us jump. What if they come back? She whispered. I held her hand. They won't, but we can't stay like this. The farm felt poisoned now, every corner hiding threats. I sold it months later, moved to town. But the images don't fade. The blood, the cord, their bound hands, and the questions. What did my parents feel in those last minutes? Did they know help wouldn't come in time? Years on, I still check locks twice. Avoid isolated roads. That day stole more than lives. It stole peace, and in quiet moments. I wonder if another family is walking that path right now, calling out unanswered.